I'm John Bonitz, and I am an incumbent. Been privileged to have served 2 terms already, and I would be honored to have your votes for a 3rd term. I've lived in town for about 14 years with my wife, and we have 2 kids, and we're living in Chatham Forest, the neighborhood next to Chatham Park. And in my personal capacity, I've lived in Chatham for, almost 20 years now. My family goes back 36 years. The Celebrity Goat Dairy out in Silk Hope. Professionally, I am privileged to work to promote cleaner transportation for NC State University's Clean Energy Technology Center. And I have studied public policy, environmental science, and been able to serve in a great array of different environmental professions. I was raised by a single mom, and she also is a serial entrepreneur. So I have a real admiration for small businesses and especially single women raising kids. So in response to the thoughts that Ms. Mary shared with us, the key issue here, I think, is the question, what can I do as a commissioner to address growing inequity? That was what we were tasked with in the email, and rather than thinking so much about what we've done over the past 7 years, I really focused on that. So I would direct folks to my Facebook page. I don't have a website for the things that we've accomplished. And in terms of inequity, I think the core issue here is that inequity goes hand in hand with injustice. And specifically with regard to water, as Commissioner Shipp mentioned, in that regard, we've largely solved that problem. In 2019, at NAACP's last public forum, Jim Naas called our polluted water an environmental injustice, and that was true. Because people with enough income could afford to buy an in-house filter or bottled water, but folks of lesser means, poor folks, had to drink the contaminated water. That's injustice. Well, that's fixed now. The greatest risk, which is the PFAS in the river water, has been eliminated with that granular activated carbon filter. Our water plant is one of only 3 public utilities in the state with advanced filtration GAC, granular activated carbon. We can honestly say that we have among the best public water sources in the state, probably among the top 3. So, check. Now, today, everyone's water is the same purity. So that toxic injustice has been stopped, and we can celebrate that. The remaining profound inequity in Pittsboro is the extreme disproportionate distribution of wealth. Chatham Park Investors is making the problem worse. They are expected to build houses in the $600,000 to $1 million range. In the North Village, they will be very exclusive. I don't know many people who can afford to buy houses at these prices. And yes, it's a national crisis, we're not alone, but it's actively worsening here in Pittsboro because of the distribution of the home prices that are being built. The distribution of prices. So I have hope, some hope, that we can push for more affordable housing in both the west and east sides of town. And I could bore you with facts about the planned development district law and the concept of a development agreement as something that allows any 2 parties to come together and agree. I could talk about infill development in the older parts of town, or even exciting projects like the school teachers housing envisioned by Del Turner, our school board member. But I think the more important message the voters need to hear is about game theory. So what is game theory? It's quite simple. It's a way of thinking about how people make choices when they interact with each other in different games. It helps you understand what the other person is likely to do and what you should do in response. It also helps you to find the best or the fairest outcome for both of you, depending on whether you want to compete or cooperate. So, how do we use game theory to effectively negotiate with large developers? First, we as a board must have a shared vision and goal for the negotiation and agree on the best strategy to achieve it. We can stick to our strategy and avoid being influenced by external pressures or temptations, like agreeing not to take private meetings with the developers behind closed doors. We can support each other and act as a cohesive team in front of the developers. We can communicate clearly and consistently with the developers and present a unified front. Finally, we can honor our agreements and obligations and maintain our reputation and integrity. In these ways, we can cooperate together to get the best deal for all of us here in Pittsburgh. So, how is this little story about game theory useful to you as a voter? Well, you might ask yourselves, as you evaluate each of us candidates, will we be able to work together? Are we showing a shared vision? Will we honor our agreements? Is there a chance that one or more of us may be vulnerable to being pressured financially or socially? Why do I deserve your vote? Well, I will stand up for the rest of us. As I've done in the past 7 years, I'll vote in favor of policies and measures that benefit the greatest number of us. And I'll vote no for bad deals. And when we're able to reach deals that are fair to both parties, I'll vote for those. And I will continue to work for a government that helps us build a future we can all be proud of. Great, thank you.